Hello. What's up, guys? How we doing? Are we live right now? I think we got 7 people. How's it going, everyone? Are we live? Let some people come in here. I'm late. I'm what, 2 minutes late? I'm sorry. What's up, guys? Mr. Plop, what up? Zlef. I was 2 minutes late, but we're here. We are live. Ooh, Philippines. How's it going? What's up? What's up? Pizza Steve. How's it going? What's up, Zalo? Henry. How we doing? Thank you, Django. What is up, everyone? Oh, I got my comments right here on my computer. How we doing? We got a little dry ager update that I'm really excited to share with you guys. Mark Gabriel, shout out. What's up, man? How we doing? Joseph, what up, what up? Evelyn, I'm doing great. Hope everybody's having a nice day, almost the weekend. What's up? I'll let a little bit more people join, but very exciting because we are going over what is in the dry ager. So as you can see, this thing is massive. First time doing a YouTube live, so I haven't shown this off to you guys yet, but this is a big boy, okay? This is probably like a 7-foot tall dry ager. Tons of stuff in here. Really excited to show you guys what we got. I've had this thing for about a month, so I've been dry aging all sorts of stuff. Got a few experiments going on. I have not run out of apple wood, but I'm actually thinking about planting some apple wood trees. I think that'd be a good idea, given how much apple wood I use. You're hungry, Oscar? Go get your time to cook a steak. I think now's the time. Jordis, what's up? What's up? Is it blurry? Someone said it's blurry. I don't think it's. Let me know in the comments if it's blurry, but I think my connection's pretty good. But yeah, as I mentioned, we're going over what's in the dry ager. We're gonna cut into one of these pieces. Super excited to show you guys what we got. Do I like Wendy's? Of course I love Wendy's. The Baconator is one of the best sandwiches of all time. Psycho Zico, what up? Thank you, Trey Day Fishing, for telling me that it's not blurry. Applewood, low and slow. Okay, so guys, we have this incredible dry ager. As I mentioned, I've been dry aging all sorts of stuff the past month. I think I've showed you guys a few videos that shows the stuff that I've been dry aging, but we're gonna go through everything just to keep you guys posted. We're also gonna cut into one of these rib roasts that I have. Been slicing off steaks every week for the past like 6 weeks just to do a cool comparison. Kayla, shout out, what up? How you doing? So I think we got a decent amount of people in here from Texas. Nice, I gotta go there soon. I appreciate everybody that's in here. We're gonna get into it. Hope everybody's well. Okay, let's do it. So here is the dry ager. We'll get a little close up. As you can see, head to toe, I mean, this thing is massive. This is like 7 feet tall. Comes with a podium, so it's a little bit taller. Thank you, Trey Day, I appreciate that. So we're gonna open this up. What do you guys say? Let's see what we got in here. So here it is. A cool thing about this is that we have this temperature and humidity control. So unlike a normal fridge that only measures temperature, we can also say the exact humidity. So for dry aging, we want to be somewhere between 75 and 85%. So it's just under 85. As I open it, the humidity is gonna change, so it'll get a little bit higher. Thank you, Riley, I appreciate that. Oh, you're fasting? This is a bad day to fast because we're gonna be cutting into all sorts of stuff. But as you can see, we have tons of experiments going. We had those ducks. We had 2 ducks hanging. Those were really cool, they're gone now. Up here, it's just beef. And dry aging is pretty ideal for beef. You can do pork, you can do venison, you can do wild game. Duck is awesome, I will say. But primarily, we just do beef here. Can you say Mississippi pot roast? Can you make a Mississippi pot roast? That's a good idea. One day I will. So someone's asking, is this Wagyu? So we have a wide variety of different things. This is a prime brisket. I'm actually gonna start pulling stuff out to show you guys. I'm gonna start by showing you the brisket. Remove this out of the way. This is a rib roast, American Wagyu from Black Hawk Farms. Really awesome. Evan Fox, tips and tricks. Dude, you guys just keep cooking. That's the key. Keep on cooking. All right, so here's the brisket. This is a big boy, okay? We started this thing on 3/22, so March 22nd. It was 22 pounds when we started. The dry aging process reduces the moisture. Moisture comes out, but I am super excited to cook this thing. I've never cooked a dry aged brisket, but as you can see, it's like pretty hard, right? Most meat is just soft, but this is, you know, to develop this outer crust, slap it. I'll probably hurt my hand, but I'll give it a shot. Ow, yeah. It's hard, okay? It's got a really tough outer pellicle, is what it's called, but this will be a really fun one to cook. So that's the first thing we got going on here. A lot of people asking to slap it. Angel, you're the vegetarian guy. Interesting that you're around here. Okay, so anyway, so that was the brisket. This is a rib roast that I'm gonna shut this for now. Ideally, we keep this closed as long as possible, just so the temperature doesn't change and stuff. Favorite dish? It's gotta be a ribeye. This is it right here. This is it for me. So this is a rib roast. It started at 7 bones. We're down to just 2. And every week, starting at week 2, I've been taking off steaks. So the idea is that by the end of this whole experiment, I'm gonna compare, and we're gonna, you know, based on taste, based on tenderness, just see what time period is better. So we've gone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe right now we're on week 6. So later on in this live, I'm gonna slice off this steak, and it's a pretty tough process. We gotta cut through the meat itself. Then we have these chine bones right here, and also these feather bones. So it's a kind of a difficult process. It requires slicing the meat, sawing through the bones. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it looks good. Haven't done it here on live yet, on YouTube Live. Yeah, so for this, someone's asking if I prefer it with the decal on it. In general, when you're dry aging, best case, you have a ton of fat and a lot of bones on it. That's gonna protect the meat. As you can see, so this is the side I've been slicing steaks off of, but this side is ridiculously dry, right? This has been here for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks at this point, and it's an extremely dry exterior, and we need to cut the entire thing off. Can I do a front flip? I can do a front flip, actually. So it's extremely dry, and the only way to eat it is to slice this off. So there's a little bit of waste involved. So best case scenario, you have bones, you have fat, tons of this big fat cap here, and yeah, that's gonna protect the meat. Walter, I got you on that shout out. Does it smell bad? It actually smells great. Some people compare it to blue cheese, like a nuttiness. Doesn't smell bad whatsoever. What does duck taste like? Duck it's sort of a gamey version of chicken. No, that's not a good way to describe it. It's pretty unique. Closer to venison than chicken, I would say, but I suggest trying it. It does smell good. Okay, so let me see, try to answer some questions as we're going. So this is my first time doing a live, as I was mentioning. We're gonna go through everything going on in this dry ager. As I mentioned, I've had this dry ager for about 2 months at this point, and we've done a lot of stuff so far. I showed you those ducks the other day. We took those out recently. And the first thing I showed you guys was this brisket up here. Show you. We have our brisket. That's a prime grade brisket. So the highest quality USDA you can buy. We have this American Wagyu rib roast. We're gonna slice into that thing in a little bit. And now we're moving on to the next layer. And these are all rib roasts. Okay, so these are all ribs. As you can see, you can kind of see how we have the eye, the fat here, that cap. Here we have the same thing. We have the cap, that's that inner piece right here, and we have 4 of them. So I'm just gonna show you all of them, because we can. I will be your friend, Kaylin. What am I looking forward to cooking? I'm most looking forward to that brisket. Dry aging isn't traditionally done with briskets, but you know, we like to experiment around here. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that, man. So we have 4 roasts. This one right here might be what I'm most excited about. Somebody asked what I'm most excited about cooking. And I'll start with the rest of these. I'll explain them all, and then I'll go over this one. But this one's really, really special. So what we have first, so the idea behind these 4, I'm gonna do a long form YouTube video, horizontal. It'll be like a 10-minute video, but we're comparing 4 very similar roasts. They start at the exact same weight. They're all ribeyes, but they are distinct in their own ways. So the first one that we have, this one is, okay, start with the, where is it? So first, right here is a grass-fed rib roast, right? So this is, right, yeah, fully grass-fed. It is a ribeye. It doesn't quite look like it. Grass-fed beef has a lot less fat, so there's not quite as much marbling. It's a little bit more gamey, but still a great cut. So this is a rib roast right here, fully grass-fed. Will you do more collabs with Nick? I might do more collabs with Nick. He's in Boston as well, so we're pretty close by to each other. The next, so the first one was grass-fed. The next is choice. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit more marbling. Also a rib roast, also a ribeye. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Yeah, okay, so someone's saying that Guga dry aged a brisket. That was my full inspiration behind the brisket. He dry aged a brisket and it was like the juiciest thing I've ever seen. You should definitely check out that video. Guga dry aged brisket, just type it into YouTube. It is ridiculous. So I'm looking forward to that one. But here we have this USDA choice. So USDA grades their meat based on 3 levels. There's probably more like slightly above and below, but we have select, which is the lowest quality. So that's kind of reserved for like ground beef. Typically, some lower quality restaurants might use it. Then we have choice. So this is choice right here. That's where you start to get some pretty nice marbling, right? So I'm not sure how well you can see it. It is dry aged, so it's kind of condensed, but choice is like, you know, your run of the mill, pretty average steak, the type of thing that you'll buy in a supermarket and be pretty happy with. So that's choice. Next, we have our prime. So this is prime grade, pretty much the best of the best when it comes to what you can find in the US when it comes to like a supermarket steak. So you can see we have really nice marbling here, right? Both sides look pretty good. It does look strange because it's dry aged, but inside we know the meat is really, really nice, and this is pretty high quality. So am I gonna post the progress? We're pretty much done with this experiment. I'll be done in like a week or 2. So I'll have the full video out pretty soon. Do I play COD? I used to play COD. So this is the most expensive meat I've ever bought. This is not the most expensive, but this is pretty close to it. So this right here is an Australian Wagyu marbling score 8 to 9, or actually 9+. So this is Australian Wagyu, different than Japanese Wagyu. Japanese Wagyu is pretty much the best of the best, but Australian Wagyu is fairly close. And when it comes to Australian Wagyu, at a marbling score of 9+, this is pretty much the best of the best. So it's a rib roast, looks incredible. Again, the exact same weight as all 4 of these. So for those just joining, we have an experiment going on, starting with the exact same weight, 4 rib roasts, completely different. We have grass-fed, choice, prime, and Australian Wagyu. And what I did is I took a steak off of each one of these, I froze it, and by the end of this experiment, we're gonna compare which one of these roasts and which one of these steaks benefits most from dry aging. So I'm pretty excited about it. That's what's going on here. We have our 4 steaks. They're looking pretty good. I started these on 4/15, April 15th. So we're like 3 weeks in or so, I believe. Where do I buy Wagyu from? So 2 places. I like to get it from either Alpine Butcher. Alpine Butcher is great if you want the super premium stuff like this. Black Hawk Farms is another great option. That's where I got that rib roast in there. Not run of the mill, but like above that, way better than what you'll find in a supermarket, but not quite as pricey as this stuff. But I definitely recommend both. Just depends on what your budget is. Best thing to eat it with. Man, when it comes to fatty meat, I just like steamed vegetables. You know, I think it's a good balance to all the richness. What's up? Oh, Billy, what's good, man? How you doing? Do I ever go hunting? Not yet, but I do want to. I would love to. What is an apple wood? I get that question a lot. So apple wood is literally just the wood of an apple tree, right? So just your typical apple tree, and it's the wood, and it's a really mild wood compared to something like maple or hickory or mesquite specifically. So it's really great if you don't love overly smoky flavor. So that's why I like it, and yeah, I've been using it basically since I started making videos. It's all I use. So this someone said, how much did I pay for this? So this Australian Wagyu is probably like, it's expensive. It might be like $60 a pound or so. I could be wrong. Look at the Alpine website, but it's pretty expensive, but it is worth it for like a, once a year type thing in my opinion. So I'm gonna put these back and we're gonna go to the third level. Yeah, these are looking great. One thing I will say, none of these have the bones attached, and they really don't have huge fat caps. Ideally, we have the bones, we have the fat caps to protect the meat, right? Like this is a better, the top one, I don't know if you can see. This is a better example of what to dry age, right? We have the bones, we have that fat cap, but in the interest of the experiment, I kept them all consistent and 4 roasts, similar amount of fat cap, and they all have that exposed underside. Play COD. I would love to play COD. I haven't gamed in a while. Crosby, shout out. What up? How we doing? Best thing to eat it with, as I was saying, something that's not fatty, something that's not rich. Steamed vegetables is good. Something with like a vinaigrette, like a sharp, acidic ingredient would go well with beef, in my opinion. Muhammad, what up? How we doing? Okay, so reverse sear for dry aged meat. I like reverse searing. Some people say don't smoke with dry aging, but personally, the dry aged flavor is a little bit intense sometimes, especially once you're past like 60 days. So in my opinion, when you smoke or reverse sear a steak that's been dry aged past, especially like the 45 through 90 day steaks, the smoke kind of neutralizes that dry aged flavor just a little bit. So I actually really like smoking it. Some people just reverse sear or normal cooking. Is there a huge overall difference in taste after smoking with different woods? That's the funny thing. A lot of people swear by one wood or another. Like I personally use apple wood just because it's on brand at this point for myself. But in a lot of the experiments I've seen, there's very little difference in like flavor by the end of it. I'll probably do a video on that, just because I think there's some controversial info out there. Favorite cut of meat? It's got to be the ribeye. Okay, so next we're gonna go to the last layer, which is actually my favorite and what I'm most excited about. So as we used to have the ducks, I kind of miss them. That was like, we had ducks hanging there for about 2 weeks. Those were pretty cool to look at. And here's another thing, like this is right in my kitchen. Like at least 5 times a day, I'm walking by and I'm just looking at it. Just checking in, seeing what's happening. Like I find it super interesting. But here's the third level. I'm gonna show you guys what we got. This is the first. So this, can anybody guess what we got going on here? I might have shared this on a YouTube story, but I'm interested to see if anybody knows what's going on here. As you can see, it looks like a mummy. We got this mummified piece of meat. Does anyone have any ideas? Dry age for 5 days. Ideally, dry aging minimum 3 weeks is good. 4 to 6 is probably my favorite. Looks like a potato. Traeger's okay. I personally really like charcoal. That's my favorite. But any guesses what's going on? All right, so this is cheesecloth, but you'll notice that it's purple. Any ideas of why this is purple? Desi Arts, ding ding ding, got it right. This has been wine aged. So this is a rib roast, USDA prime ribeye. So again, really nice quality. What up, Allie? Yep. Ivan, you got it right. Kevin got it right. Everyone's getting it right at this point. Jenny. So this is wine aged. This is a rib roast, very similar to those. So it's boneless. We don't have the bone, right? And it's completely covered in cheesecloth. And then I soaked this in red wine. I think it was a Cabernet. And the smell, it's weird that raw meat would smell this good, but it literally smells unbelievable. It's almost like not even like blue cheese. It doesn't have that funkiness. It just smells really savory and like wine, and it is ridiculous. I'm actually probably gonna cut into this thing tomorrow, but this is what it looks like right now. It's pretty thin, so there might be a decent amount of loss when I have to cut all this off, but it's looking pretty good. What's up, Black Sheep? How we doing? Okay, so that's that. And then, can anybody guess what we got here? Also smells ridiculous. Can you eat it raw, Mr. Meatman? I might end up doing that. Any guesses on what we got here? Can you make jerky? I can. I made a few jerky videos. Blood orange tastes like normal orange, but a little bit more sour and acidic. It's great. My favorite car cooking episode? Probably the one I just did. The long form video. That was a lot of fun. Cooking the brisket. Slap it silly. You can't really slap this up. Like dry aged meat isn't prone to slapping. You know, like raw meat is perfect for like the nice slap, but this is just, you know, it's hard. Favorite restaurant? Wait, two very random questions. Favorite restaurant and have I ever shot a gun? Those are very distinct questions. I have shot a gun. Favorite restaurant? Probably Haidilao. It's a Chinese hot pot. I love it. Yeah, slapping a brick. I was gonna say this is like a brick. Anyway, before I even could say it, CP Games called it out. This is whiskey aged. So this was I used a pretty cheap whiskey. You know, this is my first time doing it, so I didn't want to like use the top shelf stuff. But this is also wrapped in cheesecloth, also a ribeye. This is USDA choice. Right, so started this on the 15th as well. But yeah, so whiskey aged, wrapped in cheesecloth, covered it with a bunch of whiskey. And we'll see. I'm gonna cut into this probably tomorrow. Very excited about that. What whiskey did I use? I used like a Kirkland brand, cost like really just cheap $16 whiskey, you know? Like who knows what's gonna happen. That's what's cool about these experiments is that, you know, a lot of the times it's my first time doing these things. So I'm kind of documenting the process, and I have nice whiskey, but I prefer not to use it for this. Okay, so the very last thing that we're gonna go over before we cut into that rib roast is this guy right here. Can anybody guess what cut this is? I'm gonna hide this so you can't see. Any guesses on what type of cut this is? It looks very similar to two cuts in my opinion. Any ideas? We have our fat side here. Thank you, Greenleaf. Appreciate that. Picanha, ding, ding, ding. Is that Ivan again? Yeah, Ivan's killing it. So this is picanha. Yeah, a lot of people are guessing it. You know, so it kind of looks similar to a tri-tip. I actually have a fat, not bone in. It's a tri-tip that has the fat cap. So it looks very similar to this, both from a similar area, but this is a picanha. Okay, very common in Brazilian barbecue. Google likes to call this the queen of beef, and I have to agree. This is like easily one of my favorite cuts. Extremely beefy. You have that awesome fat cap that just, I mean, it is like really an over-the-top cut. But as you can see, the marbling on this is just absolutely crazy. And just being, you know, at room temperature for probably like, it's been what, 1 minute, it's already starting to render just a little bit. This is Australian Wagyu, really high quality, BMS of 9, so pretty much as good as it gets. The one thing about this is that it's extremely thin. What do I put? Beef or fish? Definitely beef. Another collab with Lisa? I'd love to. So one thing you'll notice is how thin this is, right? Like it's, I mean, what, like an inch or two? Compared to that rib roast up there, super big, a lot of mass to it. And the thing about dry aging is, by the time you're done, you have to cut off that exterior. So this part right here, as you can see, it doesn't look like fresh beef whatsoever. We have to cut that off, right? This fat side, you kind of have to cut off some of it, but if we were to have left this side exposed, we would have pretty much nothing. You know, like especially here, we cut off at like, you know, 1/4 of an inch, and we'd have a very, very thin steak. So what I did is I covered this in tallow, in beef fat. First time doing it, we'll see if it actually works, but the idea is that by covering this, instead of cutting off the meat itself, I can just peel away this fat, and we'll have perfect meat under. Maybe a little bit of trimming will be necessary, but I'm hoping that it preserves a lot of that meat on here. It does look like frosting. Psych. As I was putting it on, I was like, I feel like I'm literally frosting a cake. It was pretty funny. Collab with Golden Balance, I would love to. He's a great guy. Thank you, Carter. Do you feel like you can't go back to regular beef after eating Wagyu? That's an interesting question. I think, so Wagyu is extremely fatty and very rich, right? It's the Japanese stuff. Angus, which is the US style of beef, is a lot, not super lean, but it's a little bit more beefy. I'd say that's like the predominant flavor profile. So I like the combinations, right? So this is Australian Wagyu. We have a combination of Angus and a combination of Japanese Wagyu. And I think there's somewhere in between the two that works perfectly. I don't think it's weird if you don't like Wagyu at all. It's not for everybody. It's extremely rich. And honestly, it depends on the day. I can appreciate pretty much really any type of food I can appreciate. But yeah, it just depends. Can I get a sheesh? Sheesh. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back, guys. It's time to cut into this rib roast. This is what I've been waiting for. I hope you guys are excited. I didn't really talk about this guy, but this is the feature presentation. What type of guns do I shoot? I really don't shoot too many guns. I would love to go hunting at some point. My favorite YouTuber, definitely Guga. If you guys like my content, you'll for sure love Guga's. So here we are. We have this roast right here. This is American Wagyu from Black Hawk Farms. You've heard me mention Black Hawk Farms quite a bit. So it's, as I was mentioning, it's a combination of Angus and Wagyu. So it's not super crazy marbled like your A5 Japanese Wagyu, but it's also not lean like your average Angus. So it's a really nice medium, in my opinion. This side is just ridiculously aged. This thing started on 3/12, so March 12th. Can we see your sister? There's my sister. There you go.
Hi everyone.
She's there. We're actually going to. I look exhausted. I am exhausted. We're actually going to be filming part of our YouTube video during this live. So if you're on this, you'll be featured in the final video, which is pretty exciting. Smack it. Give it a little smack. Okay, so here we go. We have this guy here. This has been aging since March, mid-March, and it started as a 7-bone roast, right? So it was like about this big, and starting 2 weeks in, we were taking off steaks, right? Once a week. And we're down to 2 steaks left. As you can see, we have the 2 bones going on here, and it's time to slice into it. Can I explain the science behind dry aging? There's 2 things that happen. It gets more tender and it concentrates flavor. It's a chemical process that occurs. Really, if you age any type of protein, it'll improve the overall profile of the meat. That goes for fish, that goes for beef, pork, anything like that. Okay, so I'm gonna get my knife. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 things for this situation. We have our crazy saw and our knife. This is I like using this one for this type of application because it's really long and thin, so it can nice long strides with it. So anyway, I can show how we do it in a video. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a full long form video going over this entire process, but I figured I'd just show you guys one of the steaks on this live. And as I mentioned, we are gonna film some of this for the video, which is exciting. And so here we go. What we're gonna actually, let me elevate this a little bit. Ismail, what's up? How we doing? Joshua, I'd love to collab with Joshua Wiseman. He's awesome. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is actually slice off some of this exterior here. As you can see, it's definitely not fresh meat. right? It's a little bit dark, a little bit concentrated. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just get us to a point where we have fresh meat. We know the inside's perfect, but the exterior, super dried out. Do I know Attack on Titan? I do. Please, you gotta subscribe now because I know it. Okay, so all I'm doing now is just taking off a thin layer of this exterior. Collab with Guga, I would love to. A5 brisket, man, I would love to dry age an A5 brisket. That's one of the few things I've never seen someone do on YouTube yet. I'm sure somebody might have it in the works, but I hope I can be one of the first people to do it. French Laundry, I have heard of it. I'd love to go there one day. Future, what's the plan for my future? I don't know. You know, I think content will be a big part of my future. I'm really interested in CPG brands, you know, snack foods, different things like that. So I can see myself starting up that type of brand. But if you guys have ideas, let me know. I'm always looking for new things. What's up, Chef Javen? How we doing? Okay, so yeah, I'm doing great. So for people that are just joining, what we're doing is we're shaving off this exterior. This is a dry aged American Wagyu rib roast from Black Hawk Farms. Super dried out exterior. We're just slicing some of it off, right, to get to a point where we've reached the fresh meat. And I don't want to cut too deep, right? Too deep and we're kind of wasting meat. So there's that fine line of, and you can kind of see it, right? Nice and red. We're getting to that point where it feels like meat, and then here, it's still really dried out, right? Make a steakhouse in the future, great idea. Early, I'm absolutely down for that. If you guys would come. One day I would love that. Challenge Gordon Ramsay to a dry aged steak off. That would be fun. I would love that. So, just cutting through here. I wish I could read all of the comments, but here's what I will say. If you comment something right now, there's a good chance you'll be in the video because my sister's videotaping the chat. So if you say something right now, I can't guarantee it, but there's a good chance that it will make its way into a video. So take with that what you will. I'm looking at my sister just videotaping the comment section. Do I get mean comments? So anyway, continuing to slice here. We're just about there. It's looking pretty good, right? I'll get my smaller knife. Dry aging fish. Dry aging fish is something that I really, really want to do. There's a guy on Instagram called Dry Ager Fish Guy. He has these really, I mean, he's like the absolute master of dry aging fish. I would definitely check him out if you're interested whatsoever, but I definitely plan on doing it at some point in the future. It's all about getting the right quality fish and starting the dry age process at the right chemical time, right? It needs to be dead for the right amount of time. It needs to be going through all the chemical processes correctly. So anyway, oh, got a fly on the thing. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more like beef. We still have this dry patch here, but the marbling is incredible. And we have two distinct muscles going on, right? We have this cat muscle right here. This is the spinalis. And we have this eye, which is the longissimus dorsi, right? So very, very different from each other. But when you see a normal ribeye, these are the two muscles that you're typically gonna see. We have a lot of this fat here, some lifter meat, this stuff here. Generally, it's gonna be trimmed along here. So you have this part, a lot of that fat's taken away, this fat's taken away, and this is the bone. So here you have a bone-in ribeye. Someone just said, sister reveal. Sister reveal. Are you gonna make a sandwich with that? I might, should I? I gave you the sister reveal, so you got it. What's better, Australian Wagyu or Japanese? It's just different, you know? Japanese is going to be a lot more rich, typically more expensive. I like somewhere in between. Australian Wagyu's great. American Wagyu's also great. So, low and slow merch, one day, if you guys would buy it, I would make it. She's so slow smoking applewood. Okay, so it's officially time to cut into the roast. And I'm really hoping it looks good because once you're dealing with dry aging, like things can get a little weird, a little sketchy because you are, aging a piece of meat, like a rotten meat over a long period of time, but hopefully it looks good. Here's how to cut into a rib roast. Before I knew what I was doing, I was like, oh, just follow the bone, right? Just follow the bone down and cut into it. What we're forgetting about is this chine bone, or the chine bones right here, right? So the best way to do it, actually, go from the left side of the top bone here. So we have this angle. You can see the bones going down from here down to here, right? Kind of an angle like that. So what you want to do is start on the leftmost angle here and end on the rightmost side of the bottom, right? So the result would be something like this. Oop, that was a terrible line. Right, so instead of going straight down like that, we're gonna follow this from here down to here to keep it perfectly perpendicular to the bottom. Can you dry age sausage? You can. I've never tried it yet, but I'm really excited to. Is your sister an extremist vegan? She is not. she likes to eat meat. Do I like to eat ribs or short ribs? I like both, man. They're both great. So anyway, here we go. It's time to cut into this. Do I know who? Yeah, I know who Dylan and who, is it my lad or me lad? They're both great. Dylan's actually a good friend of mine. Where's the best place to order Japanese Wagyu? Alpine Butcher is a great place. That's where I got that picanha and that rib roast. They have some amazing stuff. Okay, so, do I like golf? I love golf. Dry age and Oreo. That's a genius idea. Would that go viral? Probably. Am I gonna cook it on stream? I'll probably cook a little bit just for you guys to see, just because I put you through this entire process. I'll probably cook a little bit. But anyway, it's time to cut through it. This is always the most difficult part, especially when I'm doing it live, because there's theoretically a lot that could go wrong. But anyway, I guess for the video, I'll just, so as I mentioned, we're doing a live here, but we're also sort of filming. So if you're on this chat, you might be featured in the video. We'll do a little bit of filming right now though. So get it going, please. Horizontal, yeah. That's the other thing, like when we're filming, we have to decide between horizontal or vertical, right? But for this video, we're doing horizontal. Yes, anybody that's typing in the chat right now will probably be in the video. So keep it PG, but feel free to comment. Mark, you might be, I think you're gonna be featured. My guy, Mark. And Joseph. And yeah, all you people. Favorite hot sauce, Ryan? Interesting question. Probably sriracha or truff. I like all of it. All my people, nice. I appreciate you guys. Cool. You'll probably be in the video. Anyway, okay, so start filming. So bear with me as we do a little bit of filming, but actually get the camera in. It'd be kind of be funny, you know. We'll just do a quick little snippet. Can you download it later? We'll have a full video that's coming out soon. Favorite celebrity chef gotta be Gordon Ramsay, right? I love him. Even though he's made fun of me a few times, but he's still the OG. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So we're 7 weeks in? Okay. Ready? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're 7 weeks in. Time to cut in this thing. Does that work? Oh, she's too zoomed in. Okay.
Good.
You were here. Nicholas, what up, man? Okay, ready? Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we're 7 weeks in. Let's cut into it.
Yep.
All right, that's gonna be on the video. Do you want to golf? I would love to. Dry age a Big Mac. That's a wild request. Sounds fun though. Okay, so the big thing I'm trying to do is make sure I cut in a straight line. I've done this a couple times and I kind of go, things get crazy. But the best way to do it from what I've seen is to start the cut kind of from down here. And most of the steaks are about 2 inches, but I create a little line just as a guide, like that. That should be good. And then my hands are super covered in fat, so it's kind of tough. Dry aged bacon, that'd be pretty cool. Javen, shout out. What's good, man? So we're gonna slice it into this thing. Nice, even motion, as opposed to like hacking at it, I found is what works the best. And yeah, just trying to cut off a steak right now. Not perfectly straight, but pretty decent. I'm getting better at this as the days go on, as the weeks go on, I think. It's probably my favorite last words. Favorite sport? I like golf. I'm getting old. Golf is it's my go-to now. My body can't handle the crazy sports. Okay, so smelling good. I'm hoping it looks good. So I've officially gotten to the feather bone. This is the feather bone right here. So I can't cut past that. I need to use the saw. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get through the rest of this meat, hopefully. Because I don't want to use the saw on the meat. Ideally, I just use the saw on the actual bone. So, as you can see, we made some good progress. Can't quite see the inside yet. Favorite cut of meat? This is it right here, the ribeye. Smoking with applewood, low and slow. Okay, so it's time to officially cut in this thing with a saw. So as you can see, this is a meat saw. It's pretty epic, I will say. It does a really good job on bone. We don't want to use this to cut through meat, the actual flesh, because then it gets kind of ruins it. So the first bone that I'm going to cut through is the chine bone right here. Right? So typically a bone in ribeye will just have this meat here, right? But we have this bone. That's the first thing to cut through. So to do my best here. It gets a little bit difficult, I'm not gonna lie, with the actual saw, but taking it slow seems to work best. So I think I got through most of that chine bone. Okay, I think we're through most of the chine bone. Park in front of Domino's and order a pizza without the pizza. Love it, that'd be great. Okay, so, doing pretty good. Oh, okay, looks like we got through most of it, guys. That was fast. We still have this chine bone to take care of. It's not pretty, but oh, there we go. That's not bad. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. Write this down. So there we go, guys. We've successfully cut through the bone. How's it looking? It's pretty good to me, not gonna lie. It's a little bit thin. We're running out of space here, but this looks pretty good. Let's see this side. Hey-oh. Man down. Let me wipe this off a little bit. Let's see. Dry age my sister. I don't think she'd appreciate that. Would you?
Hey, I'm over here.
Hey, she's over here. Be nice. Where do you buy applewood at Home Depot? Just ask the people. They should be able to help you out. Okay, so we got this beautiful pizza and we're here at Little Caesars. That's probably gonna happen at some point. So here we go, guys. Looking pretty good. That's a fat steak. It's like a 2-inch steak. Looking pretty good. Dry age a glizzy. That'd be a questionable one to dry age. Looks good. I think it's time to trim this up though. So it's very shrimpy, but this is the last steak, and we're gonna throw it back in the dry ager. And by next week, we'll be ready for the final video. But I'm gonna throw this in the ager, leave this here. We're gonna trim this up in a second. All right, let's put it back in the fridge. Okay, hands could be more clean. So I'm gonna put this back in here. It'll dry age for 1 more week. But in the meantime, it's time to touch this guy up. What's my go-to kitchen knife brand? I have a couple. This is Dalstrong, they're pretty good. And then also Miyabi, a little more pricey, but a really high quality knife. Allie, that's my second shout out to you, Allie. You're asking for a lot of shout outs today, but you got 2 already. Have I ever met Gordon Ramsay? I have not. I would love to meet him one day. Benefits of dry aging. We're gonna find out all the benefits by the end of this experiment, but in general, it's more tender and better flavor. Do I watch Demon Slayer and Mugen Train movie? I haven't yet, but if it's a good one, let me know and I'll watch it. Can I dry age human flesh? That'd be a weird one. Okay, we're gonna cut into this thing. What I'm gonna do is really just 2 things. One, remove this fat cap because we don't really need it, right? It's super well marbled meat. It's not totally necessary. We're also gonna remove these feather bones and also take off this chine bone right here. And by the end of it, it should look like a nice bone-in ribeye. What's up, Hunter? Dry age an Impossible patty? That would be pretty funny. Okay, so let me prop this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. Can't see it too well, but what I'm gonna do is remove this fat cap right here. Dry age beef jerky. Beef jerky kind of already is dry aged in its own way, right? So I'm just removing this fat. And the thing about this fat, like this is not your average fat. Can you dry age a brisket and then cook it? My man, Youssef, we got a brisket right here. The light's kind of killing it, but we do have if you missed the beginning of the stream, we do have a brisket in there. Someone wants my sister to say sheesh. She just doesn't want to do it. Unsurprised.
Sheesh.
Oh, we got a sheesh out of my sister. She did it. Whoever wanted that got it. Can you dry age a meat to be a weapon? Man, this could be a weapon right here. This is pretty much a tomahawk. That was a fun video to make though. My go-to place to buy meat, I like, as I mentioned, Black Hawk Farms. That's these guys right here. I believe I also have a discount to them in my bio if you're interested, but it's a hybrid of Wagyu and also Angus. Really nice quality, great people there. So they're a good option. If you want to go ultra premium, Alpine Butcher is also a great option. Eat Miracle Whip. Are you crazy? I'm not trying to get myself sick over here. Miracle Whip is the worst of the worst. Favorite TV show? I haven't watched TV in a long time. I used to really like 24. That was a great show. But Breaking Bad's a good one. Maddox, shout out. I got you, man. Have I ever made a hole-in-one? I've never. Have you? I've never made a hole-in-one. Dry age water or sushi? You guys got some crazy questions out here. But I can do my best. Dry aged water would just be water that's old, right? Please dry age a filet mignon. That's possible. What's up, Prince? Favorite cut of meat. This is it right here, people. A ribeye. So for people that are just joining, this is a dry aged. We're on our 7th week right now. So 7 weeks, close to 2 months. In my opinion, this is like the prime amount of time to age something. The minimum you want to go on an age is probably 3 to 4 weeks to really start to see the benefits. And then the maximum, once you get to 60 plus days, it gets kind of crazy. What's up, Colleen? Can you do a collab with Nick DiGiovanni? I have done one. Hopefully we'll do another one. He is in Boston. Cow tongue. I have a cow tongue in my freezer. The amount of meat I have in my freezer is hilarious. So here we have this fat cap. And as I mentioned, this is not ordinary fat. This is American Wagyu, dry aged, super high quality. So we can do a lot of stuff with this. We can pan sear, we can, sear a steak, we can grind this into burgers, all sorts of stuff. Show us your freezer. You guys want to see my freezer? Do we have anything? What do we have in my freezer? All right, we'll do a quick freezer show-off break. What do we have in there?
Fruit and meat. Maybe some seafood.
So I'll show you guys what I have in my freezer real quick. We've been slicing steak for a long time. There's one type of steak I want to show you guys in my freezer. So here at my freezer. Okay, so as you can see, can you guys see this? How do I flip this around, actually? Okay, so here's the freezer. We have ground meat. These are the steaks from the experiment, right? So week 5, I have all the steaks there. Of course, we have Black Hog Farms tri-tip. Oops. Meat, steak, beef, tons of steaks. What is this here? What are your guys' thoughts on this? A hungry man. I'm thinking about doing a video where I recreate this and kind of like improve upon it. I think that'd be kind of funny. This is fallow, so it's venison. I have one steak that I want to show you guys. Is it in the other freezer? So this right here, guys, this may be the most rare steak like in the US right now. It's dry aged 100 days, bone in, A5 Wagyu. This was given to me by Nick DiGiovanni. It's super rare because it's A5 and it's bone in and it's dry aged. It's pretty much impossible to get this type of thing. So that'll be a fun video at some point. But yeah, let me switch this back. That's pretty much it for the freezer update. Hope you guys like that. Do drive-through content on live stream. I did do one live when I was cooking that brisket. It was TikTok though, but I got you on the YouTube live next time. Dry age Gordon Ramsay. Now we're talking. Okay, so here we go. We have this fat cap. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna freeze this with the rest of the steak, and we'll use that for something awesome. But as you can see, a ribeye is starting to take form, right? Okay, Rye, I got you on that shout out. Candied steak, that'd be a wild one. So as you can see, this is starting to look more and more like a ribeye, okay? We're gonna continue the trimming process. So all I'm doing here, we have the bone. I'm gonna remove all this meat and rib meat, that sort of thing, right? So that. So this is just rib meat. I'll probably grind this up into burgers or something. Your dad owns a deli. That's pretty cool. Where's it based? Dry age a cow heart. That would be a tough one to dry age. Really, best case scenario for dry aging, we want a lot of exterior fat. We want a lot of exterior bones, just as much as possible to protect the meat itself. What is it, Waffle? Lil Waffle got that shout out. Do a TikTok dance. That's one thing you won't see me do. You will never see your boy over here do a TikTok dance. Oh, it's very unlikely. I'm not gonna say that it's not possible, but I try to stick to the meats. Fave non-cooking YouTube channel. I really like different, business related ones. I'm trying to think what specifically they are. I really only watch cooking YouTubes generally, but I'm really interested in business as well. Fried chicken heart. I've never tried fried chicken. Wait, do you say chicken heart? I have had grilled chicken heart, but never fried. Spice challenge. I'd be down to do a spice challenge. Me and Lisa, I'm sure you guys know Lisa, we did a spice challenge out of nowhere on her live stream. That ruined me. Where do I get my knives? So this is a Miyabi. I have their whole set. Really, really nice Japanese. Definitely on the premium end. A little bit more affordable would be these Dalstrongs. Also a really great option. Someone just asked for that. Chicken heart, beef Wellington. Dry aged beef Wellington, that'd be a tough one. That's a finished dish. But dry aging the tenderloin is definitely possible. Ideally, it's bone in. That would probably be the best chance of success. Okay, so we're doing pretty good on the trimming. As you can see, hope you can see. RIP Easy Bake. I still got my Easy Bake. Where is it? It might be in my. It might be downstairs. But should I bring back the Easy Bake oven? I was thinking about that. That was a fun one. We did some good stuff in that thing. Okay, so here we have a near completed ribeye. The last thing I'm going to do is remove this bone right here, and that'll finalize things and make it look just like a rib roast, hopefully. Like your cut, G, your sister. Nice haircut, Sophia. Okay, so first thing, she says thank you. First thing we're gonna do is cut through this part right here, which is the chine bone. Okay. So last time I cut through my cutting board without realizing it. So we're gonna try to avoid that this time. So what's a swaggy face? Order a bucket of KFC chicken, hold a chicken. Great idea. I love that. KFC is next on my list. Okay. So getting through this here. Okay. Man. Oh, see, I went at an angle. That's the problem. See, I kind of went down. I gotta get it more perpendicular to it. So we're gonna reevaluate this and go from here. We're getting there. Can you dry age dairy products? I think technically, is beef considered dairy? Dry age Nick DiGiovanni. Not a bad idea. When is the next Glizzy Wellington? That's a good reminder. I gotta do one of those again soon. That was a fun series. Oh, man, this is killing me. Oh, got it. Whew. Well, I'm officially sweating. That's what I will say. So that's the chine bone. Terrible bone. It's just like always gets in the way. But I'm gonna do this final trimming here. Get rid of this chine bone. And then from there, we're pretty much good. Just move this thing. Slap it. Garlic bombs in the oven. About an hour at 300 Fahrenheit, you should be good. But just keep an eye on it. Once the bulbs start to pop up, you're pretty much good. It's also personal preference. Like some people like it more cooked than others. Do I prefer cats or dogs? I have a cat in China waiting for me that I kind of had to leave there when I left. But at some point soon, we'll have him back in the content. His name's Tibby. And he's pretty awesome, but I like both. I like cats and dogs. Dry aged fish soon. I will definitely dry age a fish soon. How am I cutting it? So this is what I use to get through all the bone. This saw right here, and the rest I'm just using a regular blade. You know, and really just trying to trim it up to a point where all this exterior is gone. So it looks nice. But yeah, we're pretty much at the point where almost there. Okay, so as you can see, that looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this looks like a nice bone-in ribeye. Great marbling. You can see both sides. Let me know what you guys think. Sean, what up? How do I season my cast iron? I just keep it oiled, nice and, keep it oiled. Tell your sister, let's go. Sophia, let's go, okay? So as you can see, it's looking great, right? Super excited about it. This is week 7. So we started with a 7-bone roast, taking steaks off every week. We're at week 7 of 8. We have that last one in there. The video will probably be done in probably 2 weeks or so. We're gonna cook all the steaks, do a side-by-side comparison, and we're gonna see what age is best. Favorite cut of beef, you're looking at it, man, right here. What seasoning is best for dry aged steak? I guess I can show you guys my seasoning cabinet. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Doing a quick hand wash, and then I'm going to show you guys the seasoning situation. Always got to wash your hands when you're working with raw meat. Dry aged dog, it's probably off the list for me. Favorite football team? Of course it's the Patriots. We all know that. You got a loud sink. All right, so I'm going to show you my seasoning situation. So just for everybody's reference, this is like my studio / kitchen area. It's where I film everything, my oven, everything, da-da-da. The dry ager, it's on wheels, which is really nice. So I usually put it in the corner right there. And then I have all my seasonings here. So we got all sorts of stuff. Some of my favorite brands, we have Killer Hogs. You might know Malcolm Reed from How to Barbecue Right. He has some excellent stuff. This is Chuck's Flavor Train. He's big on TikTok. He's a really hilarious guy. My buddy Al Frugoni has this awesome chimichurri. It's actually a really great product. My favorite olive oils, Garcia de la Cruz. These are some really unique samples they sent me. Did I go to culinary school? I did not. I just kind of do my own self-teaching. Mark's Magic Rub. Really, really great stuff. Dry aged cat. I'm not going to do that. Danos. I do have Danos. Everybody seems to love Danos. Dano's a hilarious guy. Got my Danos back there. Just did a video with some honeycomb. This stuff is expensive, but really awesome. What else do we have that's interesting? Just the basics, you know? I have a decent salt collection. I think salt's kind of an underrated seasoning. I like kosher salt, all sorts of dry aged pork belly. Pork belly is decent, but it's just quite thin. That's the only problem with it, so it's not ideal for dry aging. Someone said Miyabi. These are my Miyabis. They're really nice. Your knife is birchwood. Yep. Yeah, you're exactly right. Is it Isaac? Oh, Ivan. Yeah. Can I speak Chinese? 我会说一点点吧. If someone could come on live with me to speak it, I would actually speak it. Okay, so this is going back in here. Okay, what seasoning would I recommend for dry age? Honestly, if you have a nice dry aged steak like this, salt and pepper is all you need. You know, like, once you're more comfortable with it, you can kind of experiment. But I think if you're gonna pay a premium price for something like this, you might as well just keep it as plain as possible. But one thing I was gonna do, should I cook some of this?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did on my last live stream, I think it was Instagram, I cooked a little bit of the steak just to show you guys what was going on. So what I'm gonna do, I don't wanna sacrifice the experiment too much, but I'm gonna cut a little bit off this part right here, just the cap, which is definitely my favorite part, okay? What's up, Amy? And we're going to feature me. I think Mark, I think we got next video. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be in it because you were commenting at the right time. So I'm gonna slice a little piece off here, nothing crazy, because I don't want to ruin the actual experiment. But as you can see, I sliced this off the cap, and here you can just look at that marbling. This is from Blackhawk. That's just sick. So I'm gonna cook this just to show you guys and like do a little taste test live. I'm gonna freeze this one. We're gonna save it for the rest of the experiment. And ask us questions about beef. The winner gets a shout out. Okay, good question. What is the name of this muscle that I just cut off? Some call it the cap, but there's a specific name for this muscle. First person to get it gets a shout out. How tall am I? I'm 6'1". We'll do it live. Exactly, Scary Bunny. So oh, there we go. Derek Martinez, ding, ding, ding. The winner with the correct call. Ivan, you just missed out. Skrill just missed it. But we got a winner. You're correct. This is the spinalis. Spinalis dorsi, technically. Whereas this is the longissimus dorsi. The eye here. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much like tenderloin people love, but like this is probably the most expensive cut in the animal. It's relatively small. It's just along that cap of the ribeye. So it's pretty unique to be able to get it by itself. So whereas a ribeye might go for like 10 bucks, 12 bucks a pound, the spinalis might be like 25 bucks a pound. So we're gonna actually cut into this, cook this. We're gonna cook this live right now. And we're gonna see how it tastes. I'm gonna move all this stuff. This stuff is, that'll go in a bag, but this will just be thrown away. Can I have a kiss? Brandon, you want a kiss? Can't help you with that. Can you dry age beef with anything like fruit? Oh, can you pair dry aged beef with fruit and stuff? Absolutely. Yeah, that's where it gets fun. To me, that's the fun part. Pairing all these flavors with different elements. You know, like I think we talked about this earlier in the stream, but we have wine age going. It's hard to see. Whiskey aged ribeye. We have a wine aged ribeye. Jake, I mean, I'll say it's bussin' if it actually is busted by the time I cook it. When did I start doing YR? If you mean YouTube, it was last year in 2020. Can you dry age pork belly? I'm getting a lot of questions about that. I'm sure you could, but pork belly is super, super thin, you know? The thinner, the more loss, because you have to cut off that exterior. But I'm sure it's possible, and I'm sure I'll try it one of these days. Okay, so we're gonna cook. My sister's giving me the clean motion, meaning I gotta clean my work surface, which is absolutely correct. Dry age deer, bear, or any wild meats. That's a great idea. I've seen people dry age venison, things like that. Who eats all the food? You're about to look at her right there. My sister. And neighbors and friends and stuff. How long was I in China for, did someone say? I was in China for 7 years. JHG, you get a shout out because you made my sister say sheesh. Now I was in China for 7 years. I left for what was supposed to be a 3-week trip. Ended up getting locked out of the country. I left all my bags there, my cats. Really my whole life just frozen in time. I still haven't been back. I had a friend put my stuff into storage. It was a whole crazy thing. What do you like to do besides cook meat? I like to go fishing. I like to play golf. That's pretty much it. Fishing, golf, and cooking. That's like my 3 hobbies. Okay, so this is my little cooker. A lot of people ask me what I use. This thing is like a $14 crappy thing from Walmart, but it does the trick. Typically, I just use my built-in oven, but Victor, you want to grow up and be a chef? You got it, man. I'm here if you need help. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. New Smeaties. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that new way to dry age. Okay, so we're gonna get this hot, and let me know, what do you guys want me to season this with? Salt and pepper is like would be the go-to, but if you guys have a preference, I'm happy to do whatever. If I had Gator, I have. It was kind of underwhelming, to be honest. But yeah, let me know. So someone says just salt, Scary Bunny. That's the traditional way to do it for a high quality cut like this. So I'm probably gonna keep it simple. I might add pepper. You know, realistically, it doesn't need much. Like this is pretty top shelf stuff that we're working with. So this, for people that are just in here, this is an American Wagyu rib roast, dry aged for 7 weeks. So right in that like pretty much perfect time zone, in my opinion. Season the boar, not the steak. I've heard mixed things about that, you know? I think there's some truth to that, but the way salt reacts to the meat itself when it's raw is pretty unique. So I think more research needs to be done on that. I would do some, but it tends to burn because there's a lot of different seasonings in it. Yeah, so finishing salt, I really like the Maldons, the pyramids, those are great. Salt, pepper, rosemary. Typically I would add butter, rosemary, thyme, do the whole butter basting, but this is so thin, it'll be done in, you know, a couple minutes. Season my mouth. That's one way to do it. Just unseasoned meat and just add some salt to it. What's up, E3? I'm doing great. Hope you guys are doing awesome. How old am I? I am 28. 28 years old. So this is kind of like a cast iron. Doesn't look like it, but similar material. It takes a while to get hot, but once it does, it retains the heat really, really well. So in terms of the salt that we're gonna use, I mean, this is, to me, like, I use this 80% of the time. You know, your typical table salt is very fine. I'll use that for like finishing eggs if I don't want to feel the texture of the salt. But something like this, I don't mind the extra texture. And more specifically, I like to be able to see exactly how much salt that I've added. With really fine salt, it just immediately absorbs and it's hard to tell. Something like this, you can really clearly see how much you've added. Once you get a feel for it, you kind of know how much to use. But then something like this to me is the ultimate plating salt or finishing salt. Maldon's flaky salt. So as you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see, but it's quite coarse, right? Some pieces are bigger than others, but it's a really coarse grain. It adds texture. It's not super quote unquote salty. You know, it's compared to like a really dense and small salt, it's not going to give you the same saltiness. So that's a great finishing one. This is great for seasoning a steak. We're pretty hot right now. I'm going to add one of these oils right here. Salt, pepper, garlic. That's the go-to. I learned that from Guga. Salt, pepper, garlic powder is like, you really can't go wrong with that. The one thing is garlic powder on a really hot pan tends to burn. Can I add flaky salt? I will add flaky salt. I wish I could cook with applewood right now, but unfortunately we're inside. So no applewood, low and slow currently. But pretty hot. I'm gonna add some oil. Not a crazy amount, but decent amount of oil. The only thing about this burner is super cheap and like it gets really hot and gets really cold if you turn it down even a little bit. So I kind of work with it by like, you know, carrying it, like holding it a little bit higher. So just gonna season the actual steak. That's pretty good for that thickness, right, on one side. And that's pretty good. Don't need to go crazy, you know? It's a little too hot, actually. I'm gonna add pepper towards the end because it does tend to burn. And I'm going real hot with the heat right now. Just going down, pressing. I'm just holding down to make sure we get some nice surface area connection. As opposed to if I just let it go, it would kind of curl up. So I'm just keeping it down. And all different sides of the pan are going to have different heat, or like for example, to the left of the meat is going to be a little bit hotter because the meat itself is cooling down the pan. So what I like to do is just move it around a little bit every once in a while to touch those hotter parts of the pan. I'm not sure if I explained that correctly, but just moving it around to keep that sear nice and steady. What type of fish do I fish for? All sorts of, man. If you look at my Instagram story, I caught a pretty decent, like a 2.5, 3 pound bass pre-spawn. Probably a pregnant fish, but it was a pretty nice bass. Kaleem, what's good? Collab with Guga, I would love that. He's a great guy. I've connected with him on Instagram. We talked a little bit. So, I'm keeping it simple, no glaze today, you know, just gonna quickly sear both sides. And for those just joining, we are cooking the spinalis, or the cap of that rib roast that we took a slice off of. We play any instruments. I used to play violin. Oh, Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. She's awesome. So yeah, we're just getting a nice sear on this. Kind of just using my hands right now. But as you can see, because the pan was so hot, even though it's thin and we went fast, we have a pretty nice sear on it. So we're just searing that side as well. Try to pronounce your name. I feel like Rogelio. What's up, Trey Day? Trey Day Fishing. How we doing? So yeah, we're just cooking this. How do you guys like your steaks cooked? I personally like it, you know, medium rare, sometimes rare. Depends on the steak. If it's super fatty like this, I honestly don't mind it medium. You know, it needs time to render. And if you cook it a little longer, it'll give it that rendering that's necessary. What do I do for a living? I used to work in the financial industry. I still do a little bit of work there, but in a transition phase right now. Sichuan style steak, that is a fantastic idea. Scary Bunny, great ideas today. I love Sichuan style food. I spent a decent amount of time in Chengdu in China. Lisa, keep up that heat tolerance, Grit. She killed me on that one live. Ow, that's hot. She killed me on that one live we did. I think she's secretly like the spice master, and she makes us believe that you know, she's just building her spice tolerance. I think she secretly might be up there with like some of the great spice tolerance people. I don't know. That's a theory. It's a controversial theory, but that's what I believe. So it's getting hot. We're pretty much there. You know, some people do the whole like squeeze it test. I typically use a thermometer. This is so thin that I'm not too worried about it, but I think that thermometer is pretty much always necessary. We should be just about done though. A lot of smoke. So we're taking this off now. Putting this here. Is that gonna be okay there? Okay. So this is off. Yeah, I gotta get a new hot plate. This thing is not the best, but have I seen Spice King? I have. He may be the master. He's the current master. Do I know a cook named Matt? I do know a cook named Matt. In fact, I have his salts. Let me show you his salts. Are you gonna serve this with any sides? It's such a small piece of meat. I'm just gonna eat it by itself as like a taster. Where's the salts though? So have you seen a cook named Matt's salts? I want to show you his salts. He has really cool finishing salts. Rahan got a shout out. What up? dry aged Spice King cam. Do you think he'd fit in here? Get him right in there. I don't think he'd appreciate it too much. So these are some of his salts. Do the turmeric salt for the steak. Oh wait, where is the turmeric salt? Scary Bunny like knows everything about what's going on here. So a cook named Matt has 3 types of salts. Pacific Harvest, which is like his normal flaky salt. Millennial Pink Salt, which is some version of like the red salts that go around, or the pink salts. What temperature is the dry ager? So here we have the dry ager. We're currently at 2 degrees Celsius. I don't know if you can do the math if you're in the US, but we're at 83% humidity, relative humidity. So that's pretty much where you want to be. What did I want to be when I was a kid? That's a good question. When I was a kid, what did I want to be? I wanted to do something creative, whether it was art or something creative, but I didn't know what. I think this kind of taps into it though. Pronounce your name, Urza, what up? Okay, can you use the gold, oh, my sister found it, nice. Okay, so here we have the 3 salts that a cook named Matt has. Oh, pretty cool. So the gold flaky salt, the pink flaky salt, and the regular. They're all pretty awesome. I'll definitely finish it with these. Ezinwa, what's up? Okay, so I'm gonna find a cutting board. Let me know what color you guys want me to use. As you know, I have several different types. Oh shoot! I'll give you guys some options. I'll take the white one, the purple, and the red. Let me know what you like more. Clearly, I'm obsessed with these cutting boards, but I'm interested to hear which one you guys like more. Would I eat monkey? I probably wouldn't. This is the first one. Pretty nice, kind of white, bluish type thing from the Philippines. What's up, Faye? How we doing? Purple. Okay, someone already said the purple. This is the purple. Love this one too. All of them are so unique in their own way. Big fan of this one. Someone says first, someone says purple. Okay. Then we also have the red. This one's sick too. I love that. And it comes with the baby mini handle. So let me know. What do you guys think? Purple, please. Purple. Looks like a lot of people are saying purple, purple, purple. Red. A lot of reds coming in. So definitely not red. We got a lot of purples. Purple, red. Can we see your sister, please? Red, red, red. There she is.
Hi, everyone.
So red, red, red. Oh man, it's really between the red and the purple. Clearly. You know, last time we did red on the live stream. I think today we're gonna go purple. We'll do purple with. We'll go pink flaky salt, which is close to red, as a little balancing act. So this is the flaky salt we'll use. Ask my sister to decide. Sophia, how do you feel about purple? You good with that?
I love purple.
All right, she says she loves it. She's down. Millennial pink. Exactly. We got that millennial pink looking dope. Can I have Insta, but my mom can get a hold of you. Victor, feel free. Yeah, if you need, if anybody has any questions about what I'm doing or like comments or wants to learn more, like hit me up on Instagram. My DMs are always open. Yeah, I'm here. Someone said, didn't I already add salt? I did add some salt. A lot of that salt comes off during the cooking process. So, you know, it's kind of to taste. You can add some, you don't need to add some, but I like to have at least a little bit on the side as I'm plating. But I think our steak is rested. It's super thin, so it doesn't really need to rest too much. Where's the, okay, so here's this one, this one. So I also want to use this as a time to show you guys my 2 favorite knives. So this one's dirty, so I'm actually gonna use this one. But you'll notice a flaw. We have an issue with the point here. So this is a Miyabi chef's knife with the birchwood. It's really just an incredible knife overall. One of my favorite knives ever. This is the UX10 from Misono, my first ever nice knife. I got this delivered to me in China. I spent like a stupid amount of, like probably 3 times the price to make it be a lefty. So it's literally meant for a left hand because I'm lefty. Getting it imported to China, like it was too much, but I was really inspired by this knife. It's one of, you know, as I mentioned, the first nice one that I ever owned. The problem, my brother, the first time he picked up this knife, he dropped it on the ground, and as you'll notice, we got a little chip. So, I don't know. It's a battle wound from the knife, but it's still super sharp. I keep it as sharp as possible. And yeah, it's really light. Like it feels like a feather compared. Even this is relatively light, but this feels just a lot more thin and not necessarily more sharp, but just you feel like you can do a little bit more with it. But yeah, so here's our steak. Not a big steak, I'm gonna be honest. But this is the spinalis from that dry aged rib roast. Cut a little bit off of it. We'll see how he cooked it. We're gonna use a little bit of millennial pink salt to go with it. I usually just like add it to the cutting board. You can kind of dip where you see fit. I look like Zeke from Manifest. I've been getting that a lot. I wish I could tell you who that was. Okay, so let's cut into this. This is what we got. I'm waiting for the it's raw comments or the it's overcooked comments because I'm sure they're both coming in hot. But this looks pretty good to me. You know, I'd say that's medium rare, maybe getting closer to medium, but for such a fatty cut like this, I'm pretty happy with this. You know, oh, Julio, our first it's raw. Trey, we got our first well done, so we're at both edges of the spectrum. Love it, but yeah, I mean I'm pretty happy with that. You can see, I mean, you can really see even the marbling is like well defined, even though it's a cooked piece of meat. That's how we know it's gonna be good. Oh, we got a couple. It's perfect. Love it. I'm 28 years old. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. I mean, it's pretty easy to cook a really thin steak correctly. So I didn't use a thermometer this time. But in general, I like to use a thermometer. So the crust is pretty thick. Like we got a nice crust for such a short amount of time. Anytime I'm cooking a really thin steak, highest heat possible is what I'm looking for. Camilo from the Dominican, what's up, man? Or girl, what up? Oh. Do I live in Canada? I live in the Northeast. I live in Connecticut area. So I'm gonna go for a bite. What do you guys think? I'll first give one to my sister. A little bit of salt. This is for her.
Thank you.
Okay. Ready?
Oh,
Let's go for it. Cheers.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty good, guys. It's like very, very good. Wow.
Wow.
What do you think?
It's like such an intense like, I don't know. It's so good. It's so good. I have no
Like the
words.
fat really, the one thing I noticed is that the fat covers your entire mouth.
Yeah.
It's not like your average steak where you're like, okay, it's good, it's tender, seasoned correctly, but this is just, not that it's an explosion of flavor, but as you're chewing, it is just everywhere. This is what we got. I wish I could, like, if I could do anything in this world right now, I wish I could share this with you guys because it's honestly amazing. But this is what we got. I'm gonna share some for my dad, who's upstairs. Have one more bite. This is from the spinalis, so you can see the muscle fibers are pretty loose, right? So it's like, it's a relatively tender piece. Like, generally you're gonna wanna cut this against the grain. It's not totally critical because it is tender, but cutting this against the grain, cooked to medium rare or medium, it's pretty hard to find a better cut of beef, in my opinion. Unbelievable. Double E, my man. This is why we do what we do. I get a lot of questions about these cutting boards. This is from a small company on Instagram called Vayrenny Burns. Really awesome people. They're expensive cutting boards. They're very premium, but they look, I mean, they just totally make the presentation, in my opinion. There's a small commission that I make for each board. It goes directly to charity. I have a friend who's battling brain cancer. So I like promoting them just to try to raise awareness for her situation. And to me, they just look like I would do it for, I mean, this is just like the coolest thing in my opinion. JHG, you've never had steak before? Here you go. It's time. Do a collab with Gordon Ramsay? I would love that. It's raw, you nasty. I was waiting for that. Thank you, Menhua. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. We've done a lot on this live. So just to recap, do I have a discount for Blackhawk Farms? I do have a discount. Check out my bio, Instagram bio, or YouTube bio. You should be able to find it. But we started by going over what was in the dry ager. Give you a quick lowdown one more time. It feels empty without the ducks. We had 2 ducks hanging there.
They were pretty.
Yeah, they were good looking ducks. Unfortunately, they're gone now. This is the roast we cut into today. It's getting shrimpy. It's down to its last bone.
Small.
Yeah. So we'll leave that there. We have our prime brisket, our 4 rib roasts, picanha, wine age, and the whiskey age. Let me know though if you guys have ideas of what I can add to it. Different cuts of beef, venison, whatever it may be. Chicken Wellington, that could be a fun one. That would be a fun collab. Lucalo. Never been hunting yet. Do a beef tallow picanha. Oh, so there's beef tallow on that picanha right now. That frosting looking stuff is beef tallow to protect it. OnlyFans, but for meat. I'm pretty sure OnlyFans reached out to me. I don't know what I would do on there though. Dry aged mango. Fruit would kind of ferment. I think there's things to do, but not really the dry aging process. Go back and read your comment. T nugget. I'm sorry I didn't see your comment. Favorite type of meat? Gotta be a ribeye, man. When I was younger, probably actually beef short ribs. I was a huge fan of those back in the day. Oh, hey, the glamorous life of Nay. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. That means a lot. 4th of July meat cake. Ooh, 4th of July is coming up. My first ever video that I ever posted on the internet was on 4th of July. It was on TikTok, and I'm not gonna say I'm not proud of it, but it could have used work. So I might repost that video on the 4th of July, and then I might remake that video so you guys can kind of see the difference. I think that'd be fun. Mark, what up? Thank you, Nicholas. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. Covered a lot of stuff today. We cut into that roast. We'll have that video out in probably 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, we had the steak, very small piece of steak. This is the other interesting thing. Look at how this has been out and sliced for about 10 minutes. As meat is exposed to air, it oxidizes, and while it didn't quite look, it might have looked more like medium at the time. Once it's sitting out for a little bit, like that looks like rare, right? It looks pretty rare at this point. So when you see people make videos on the internet, it's tough for the viewer to really decide what the actual doneness was, just because it really changes. And over the video process, they might have had to wait, had a hang up, or whatever it might be. So just to keep in mind. JHD, hey, you got the shout out now in case I can't make it happen. But Lydia, what up, Lydia? Can I mail you a steak? Absolutely. I would love to do that. Where do I buy my meat? Blackhawk Farms is a great option, and Alpine Butcher. I believe I have a discount to Blackhawk in my bio. Can I recommend a pickled fruit to go with dry age? Something acidic, like a green mango, could be really cool. Thank you, Double E. All right. Well, I think that's just about it, guys. Again, really appreciate it. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, what I talked about today, hit me up on Instagram. DMs are always open. I'll have more content coming soon. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you next time. All right, Julian, we definitely can. Nicholas, I appreciate you. Hello, Cheat. Hello, comrade. I like cheddar. Cheddar's great. All right, thank you guys. Bye, Rolapa. Appreciate you. All right, bye, guys.